Imagine it's a world where it's a legal requirement to take drugs, where humans live life as androids pursuing maximum efficiency, where thinking for oneself is both daunting and criminal, a monotonous world without expression. The 1971 George Lucas film THX 1138 presents this peculiar reality in a dystopian near future. The citizens are valued only as workers with no regard for their humanity, controlled by compulsory sedative drugs and threats of punishment. They're led into a comfortable but conformist lifestyle that deters rebellious motives and styles individual expression, a scenario which holds a surprising relevance to our modern world. Constantly inhibited by suppressive drugs, no emotions ever escape the workers. Expression is wasted energy and a distraction from maximum efficiency. The value of human life is reduced to manual labor and contributions to maintaining a functional society. An opening scene shows the worker THX building android police. He continues to work despite an announcement regarding 63 fatalities in another sector.
That accident over in Red Sector L destroyed another 63 personnel, giving them a total of 242 lost to our 195. Keep up the good work and prevent accidents.
The motivations of the facility are clearly illustrated by the insincerity regarding the deaths, instead focusing on the comparative impact of losses on productivity. The workers are treated as fungible, like mass-manufactured machines. They don't die, they are destroyed, to quote the announcer. Further demonstrating this point is the replacement of THX's forbidden lover LUH when she falls pregnant and disappears. A jar containing a fetus is later discovered, labeled LUH. As soon as LUH became pregnant, her efficiency was impaired. No longer a productive worker, she was consumed, with her name reassigned to her developing child. The viewer then faces a moral dilemma. Is it wrong to replace LUH's identity and erase all traces of her existence? While we recognize her individual desires and values, the constraints of the social system censor them, leaving only the standard human capabilities that reduce her to a unit of labor. The intention of mandatory repressive drugs is not only to remove emotional distractions, but also to discourage cogitation and hence rebellious thoughts. However, in cases like THX's where such thoughts become possible, the threat of violence is introduced. When THX himself is exposed to this violence for criminal drug evasion, the safety layer is diminished and there is no longer any purpose in following the guidelines. It's from this moment onwards that he feels secure in his individual desires and is unafraid to stray from the imposed institutional lifestyle. And that's exactly what makes THX the hero in this story. He is unafraid of escaping a comfortable system that he's been conditioned to for his whole life. The society is designed for consistency and easy living. Everyone has shaven heads, uniform white clothing, a set purpose, and essentials taken care of. An individual deprived of emotions could live unconcernedly forever, exactly as intended. The film introduces another rebel, SEN, who wishes to leave with THX after scrutinizing his behavior through cameras during a work shift. However, SEN behaves in an opposite manner to THX, losing confidence in his pursuit for freedom. Further into their joint escape, SEN is separated from THX, and paranoia gets the better of him. He caves in at the decisive moment. His character demonstrates how individuals become institutionalized. SEN is too afraid to escape, too afraid of the unknown. He is portrayed as an anti-hero to both contrast THX's courage and integrity, and illustrate what makes him so unique in character. At the time of its release in 1971, THX 1138 connected with many viewers who are questioning the conformity of their society. A period of stability and material comfort achieved in the 60s led to a wider desire for personal expression. The film presented an exaggerated scenario of uniformity, where members of society had no means of displaying individuality. Their shaven heads and bland uniform directly contrasted with the world's newfound urge to find a unique style of hair and clothing, as celebrated in the 1968 musical literally called Hair. THX 1138 also presented a gentle dystopia relating to the change in thinking at the end of the 60s. As one of the few dystopian science fiction films, it took a newly skeptical approach to the progression of technology. This attitude was also seen in the 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey, which warned of an overly ambitious development of technology. In particular, it asked whether humans were in control of technology or vice versa. This unease is echoed in THX 1138, where people work without any ultimate purpose, apart from the never-ending goal of improving efficiency. These concerns driving THX 1138 are even more prevalent today. We are no longer threatened only by robots replacing manual jobs, but also their developing ability to think for us. The increasing sophistication of algorithms and bots today suggest how soon code might supersede human thought. As an example of how technology is already controlling us, let's consider Google's filter bubble. The collection of data through cookies and other methods creates a seemingly benign system. This increasingly automated approach optimizes the search engine for what Google believes the user most wants to see. However, this bubble raises a question central to THX 1138. When does our quest for comfort compromise our free will? By restricting our search results to what we want, it makes Google comfortable, But doesn't it also mean our right to freedom is truncated? If we're given biased access to the internet, we can see the opportunity to explore and be challenged by unfamiliar concepts and material. Therefore, the cautionary message presented by THX 1138 offers food for thought that's arguably at least as relevant now as it was upon its release.